MRU TV Connected.
Hello, I'm Zara Valabai.
And I'm Leah Murray. Welcome to Connected.
Jerome McGinley will be wearing new colors this weekend as the longtime Calgary Flames captain was traded last night to the Pittsburgh Penguins. A news conference was held at the Saddledome this morning to explain the move for the beloved Flame. Dominic Harlow-Lawrence was there to catch the story and joins us. Dominic.
Calgary fans were waiting nervously last night in amongst the trade speculation around Jerome McGinley. Would he stay or would he go? Of course, we can now confirm that at 11:30 p.m. last night, he was in fact traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins. But this wasn't always the case throughout the night. Earlier on, about halfway through the third period last night that the Flames were playing, it was announced that Jerome had been traded to the Boston Bruins. Later on in the night, however, between 11 and 11:30, Pittsburgh made an offer to the Calgary Flames Association that they could not turn down. And so, out went the Boston Bruins and in came the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, a news conference was held this morning in which Jerome McGinley addressed the crowd and thanked the fans and the city for everything that they've done for him.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for coming. I don't have a lot prepared. Wasn't, you know, I don't know if you prepare a speech for this. I'm not retiring, right? So it's going on to play. But no, it's. I do want to say thank you to the fans in Calgary. Never would have dreamt I would have got to play here so long. It's a great hockey city, a great community. I have such a great balance between a passion for hockey and a wonderful place to live. And to leave is tough, but I'm also very excited about the opportunity to go to Pittsburgh and play with them and you know, have an opportunity to do some good things there. I thank you guys and. It's become home, and you know, you won't have seen the last of me one way or the other, eh? So, but no, thanks a lot for everything, and thanks for coming today, and wish the Flames the absolute best. Thanks.
Now, I was actually at the news conference this morning in which Jerome McGinley addressed the crowd. He was, of course, humble as always, and while he is sad that he is leaving the Flames, he is also excited and looking forward to becoming a Penguin.
So Dominic, why was there so much confusion about the trade last night?
Well, Leah, it was actually never confirmed whether or not Jerome McGinley was in fact going to be traded last night. If you look back in the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk involving a lot of teams. You've had the LA Kings, Chicago Blackhawks, Boston Bruins, and of course the Pittsburgh Penguins, which he was then traded to last night. Now, if anybody remembers last year, the same sort of situation happened with Rene Bourque. He was considered a healthy scratch before the game at home in Calgary. Then halfway through the second intermission, it was announced that he had been traded. The same sort of thing played out last night with Jerome McGinley. Now, with that all going on, you can say, yeah, there was a lot of confusion, but in the end, can we say this is what is good for Calgary? Most likely, a lot of fans would say this is a good thing for the Calgary Flames, as now they can look to rebuild. And of course, it's a great thing for McGinley. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Dominic. After the Iggy chants had faded in the Scotiabank Saddledome, avid Calgary fans awaited the news about Jerome McGinley's trade from the Flames. He was much more than just the Flames' all-time leading scorer. He was also very involved in the community, even making a trip to Afghanistan in 2011 to visit the troops. Emma Duria talked to local Calgarians about their reaction to the captain's departure.
Trade speculations of the captain were well known. However, the news still came as a shock to many.
Just let me know 10 seconds.
It's sad. He represented Calgary for a long time, and he was my favorite player. It's sad.
It's sad to see him go because of all the things he's done over the years, but I'm kind of happy for him. I mean, he gets to go to Pittsburgh, which is a really good team, and hopefully he'll win a cup there, and then we can help build for the future.
I don't really follow hockey that much, but it's still kind of heartbreaking as a Calgarian to see your main guy leaving.
It's a little bit sad, a little bit happy. You're obviously sad to lose a guy like him, but I'm very, very happy that he's going to Pittsburgh and that he's going to be playing in Sydney, and I think that he is going to do very well there, and I hope he gets a cup there.
For some, Iginla is much more than just a hockey player. His contributions extend beyond the ice.
Iginla, whose healthy scratch caused a storm of social media rumors. Sarah O'Hara will join us later in the show with sports and tell us how the team fared against Colorado without Iginla.
In other news, here at Mount Royal University, another semester is drawing to a close. Deadlines, exams, and home priorities are on most students' minds. Some lucky students have the excitement of graduation to look forward to. Reporter Amy Diamond was at the grad send-off yesterday and has some more insight into what lies ahead for this year's graduates.
This is it, hey? This is the end of the line.
The center of Main Street at Mount Royal University was curtained off for a VIP event for students graduating this year, hosted by the Alumni Association. The grad send-off was laid out with a red carpet and featured affiliates of Mount Royal as well as internal services offering discounts and other services available for new graduates.
Anything to do with just getting them prepped and ready, maybe doing a prep interview, looking at what their Mount Royal education looks like in terms of transferring to the world of work, what they can do with their degree and diploma.
We're having a contest for free alumni membership, and then we're also doing a 50% off the alumni membership, just letting people know that that's what they get the year after they graduate.
If you missed out on the grad send-off Wednesday, there are still other events to check out.
It's called the Alumni Welcome Dinner. It's happening on April 3rd, which is next Wednesday. It's free to all graduates in 2013. Still have a little space for people to RSVP, and they can just contact the alumni office for detailed information.
Many took advantage of the photo booth just outside the private event to dress silly and make picture flipbooks. Mount Royal graduate Carson Kendall had a positive outlook to the future.
You actually have real credible experience on your resume when you're walking into a position. People are looking for Mount Royal grads, and I'm just so happy to be one.
For MRU TV News, I'm Amy Diamond.
The sound of a dentist drill can hurt your ears, but it can also hurt your wallet. With the school year ending, students who are leaving will also be leaving their benefits behind. Mark Armstrong reports on how this can affect MRU graduates.
The dentist drill is rarely associated with pleasant memories. Dr. Holly Fritz knows how you can avoid it.
Well, good dental hygiene prevents cavities, and without cavities you're not going to end up needing root canals or needing to have any teeth pulled. So, I mean, it prevents pain, first of all. Nobody wants a toothache.
As a full-time student, you have some dental coverage.
We do teeth cleaning, so the hygienist will clean your teeth for you, and then for me I'll do anything from extractions to root canals to fillings to false teeth to whatever general dentistry you need.
But with the school year ending, your benefits won't come with you. Nick Berdusco felt the pain of graduating and having no coverage.
So even with things like dental appointments and other checkups, with the student coverage, it made it at least affordable enough that you could go once in a while and kind of be proactive about your health and look after yourself, whereas without having any sort of coverage as a student, it's cost prohibitive.
So how do students avoid the pain to their bank accounts? Blue Cross is a ready available insurance provider offering dental, ambulance, and prescription plans. So if you are graduating from MRU this year, do take advantage of the services while you can. For MRU TV News, I'm Mark Armstrong.
The incredible journey of a First Nations boy named David Callipit Jr. inspired hundreds more to follow him in the Walk for the Nishiyu. David's passion was the Idle No More protests that have been going on across Canada since December. This protest is against the overhauled Waters Protection Act. Protesters, mostly consisting of First Nations, are taking a stand to protest the Canadian environment. They believe this Eliminated Water Act will negatively affect everyone. After the boy's 1,600-kilometer journey ended at Parliament Hill, he was greeted by the Aboriginal Affairs Minister, Bernard Valcourt. However, the absence of Prime Minister Stephen Harper sparked some anger. Will Wilson reports.
This is an Idle No More protest that took place in Calgary of January 2013. These protests have been ongoing since December across Canada. Idle No More is against the Eliminated Waters Protection Act that allowed land and water that are now unprotected for use of oil and gas extraction. That same day that David Kawapit Jr. arrived to Parliament Hill after his 1,600-kilometer journey, Harper was in Toronto awaiting the arrival of 2 pandas and the Chinese ambassador. For many Aboriginal people, the passion of this young boy's journey was a major investment in Canada's future, and the Prime Minister's absence did not go unnoticed.
For the fact that he wasn't there to greet the boy, I find that disrespectful. I think it's kind of insulting to the rest of our community as Aboriginal people.
According to Dr. Frank Coet, an international business professor I spoke with, says the efforts China made for these pandas to be in Canada are crucial in building a committed investment partnership with Canada. Although he believes the protesters' efforts are extraordinary, even if Stephen Harper himself was at Parliament Hill to greet this boy, it would not have solved any ongoing conflicts.
For the Premier not to have been there at the arrival of the pandas would have been a sign of maybe not complete respect for the effort from the Chinese counterpart, given the fact that there was also the ambassador of China there. These arrangements for bringing the panda have been there before the Premier knowing about the protests coming from the Cree Nation.
The lines between the arrival of the panda as well as the Aboriginal affairs are still black and white. One thing is for sure, the environmental aspect and corporate aspects are butting heads. For MRU TV News, I'm Will Wilson.
4 armed men charged into a house in the city's northeast early this morning. Emergency crews were called to the 400 block at Maitland Crescent. 1 man is in hospital with stab wounds. The police have released the description of the 2 men. One is 6 feet tall, has blue eyes and blonde hair, while the second man is about 6'3" and has a slim build with black curly hair. Both men were wearing black.
The Calgary police are also investigating 2 suspicious occurrences over the past week to see if they are related. Yesterday, a 12-year-old boy was approached by a man wearing baggy clothes who asked the boy to get into his car. The boy said no and continued on his way. Earlier last week, a 9-year-old girl was waiting for her mother when a man approached her claiming to be her uncle. The girl ran away when she didn't recognize him. In order to keep children safe, police recommend that parents talk to their children about safety tips relating to strangers. They ask anyone who may have information on these 3 incidents to call police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477.
One of the most popular districts in Calgary is being questioned on its rowdy behavior. Whitney Gackey is live and has more.
Hi, thank you. Yes, the beloved and renowned Red Mile may be forced to have a makeover. Complaints of increased noise, violence, and vandalism along the avenue has some in the city concerned. A new consideration has been put into place to limit the avenue. The city wants less than 50% of businesses designated towards bars per block. The 17th Avenue gained its Red Mile title in 2004 with the Flames' win of the Stanley Cup. It was known for its lack of violence at that time. I spoke with local businesses about the topic, and this is what they had to say.
I think 17th Avenue has become very vibrant and a lot of fun, and a really great place to be and walk along, especially in the summertime. Even in the wintertime, it creates a lot of traffic, but there's a lot of great establishments along 17th Avenue, and you know, like a great culture, mix of different foods, different styles, and it's again.
Recently, there has been an influx of restaurants appearing. This is caused by high rent prices along the avenue, leaving clothing stores struggling. So daytime business is slowing, but nightlife is booming. This is what's prompting the Business Revitalization Zone to reform regulation. The city simply wants daytime and nighttime balance along the strip. That's it out here. Back to you guys at the newsroom.
Well, this week has been absolutely gorgeous. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to see what this long weekend will bring for us.
Actually, I can't wait to go outside. So, Jess, do you have some good news for us?
Yeah, guys, you're right. It has been absolutely gorgeous, and it still is gorgeous. Right now in Calgary, it is 12 degrees, and it's not so bad across the province either. If we take a look, Fort McMurray is sitting at 7 degrees, Edmonton is at 10, down below Medicine Hat and Lethbridge are both sitting at 13. We'll expand a little bit further, look across the country. Up north, we've got Whitehorse at 0, Yellowknife at -7, Our neighbors over to the west are sitting Vancouver at 13 and Victoria at 15. Once again, here in Alberta, Edmonton is at 10 and we are at 12, sorry. In Saskatchewan, Saskatoon is at 0 and Regina is at -5. Winnipeg is at -2. We'll head out east and take a look at Ontario. Toronto is at 8 as well as Ottawa. Montreal is at 9, Quebec City at 4, and even further out east to the Maritimes, Fredericton is at 9, Halifax is at 6, Charlottetown is at 4, and St. John's is at 1. So all across the country, not too bad. We'll take a look at kind of why these things are happening. Up top here in the Yukon, you can see we've got a high pressure system going on. It's really pushing away the clouds, creating a nice bright sky. Clear skies, absolutely beautiful. Up here in northern Manitoba, we can see a low pressure system, which is kind of creating the opposite effect. We've got clouds coming in and they are experiencing some snowfall. We can see all across the country, it's pretty mild, obviously a little bit cooler up to the north. And going into our long weekend, looking at the 3-day forecast, Friday, we've got a high of 13, a low of -2. Saturday is 6 and a low of -1. Sunday, 5 and a low of -3. So if you're planning to travel anywhere for the long weekend, it's absolutely beautiful. It's a great time to do it. I don't think you'll have any problems traveling. And if you're staying, it's gorgeous as well. And that's all for your weather. We'll head back to the studio.
Thank you, Jess. Calgary's green initiatives have always been overshadowed by oil and gas, giving our province a bad reputation when it comes to this matter. Whitney Gacke has more on how Calgary and its communities are trying to change the negative perception.
Green living is becoming one of the hottest trends to date. With Calgary still reigning as the cleanest city in the world, you may be wondering, what's the city's plan for sustainability?
We've established a policy called 80-20 by 2020, so we want to try and divert 80% of our waste products from our landfills by the year 2020.
Green initiatives are not only taking place on the municipal level, smaller communities are doing their part. On campus, spring has brought a new campaign. MRU Green posters preaching sustainability decorate the halls. The President's Task Force is behind the green.
The alternative is gray and brown and less attractive colors. Why go green? Because we're all better off. I think it's a responsibility all of us have. I think it builds citizenship, and we're better off because of it. It may not stop global warming, but we're doing our part, and it will help this part of campus and this part of Calgary.
To make your mark, contact your student representative for the President's Task Force to paint this campus green. For MRU TV News, I'm Whitney Gacke.
Well, it has definitely been a crazy day as far as hockey goes here in Calgary. Sarah Hauer joins us and has more on what exactly this trade means for our hockey team.
Thanks, Leah. It appears the Flames are moving into a rebuilding phase, letting go of veteran Iginla for 2 college prospects and a first-round draft pick. Kenneth Agostino, a third-year Yale University student, the Eli's third leading scorer, has 14 points and 20 assists and has 10 plus with 32 penalty minutes. Although he may not be a big player, he is not afraid to play a physical game. Ben Hanowski, a fourth-year St. Cloud, Minnesota 22-year-old forward, is leading St. Cloud as the scorer 39 games as a junior in 39 games has a high 23 goals and 20 assists and 2 plus 25 penalty minutes, with 7 of those goals coming on the team's power play. Last night, Iginla was a healthy scratch as the Flames played the Colorado Avalanche. Late in the first, the Flames already up 1-0. A quick wraparound by Steve Fajan, and it is 2-0 Flames.
Calgary leads 2-0.
Colorado quickly answers back by Jamie McGinn. Another quick turnaround by Camilleri, and the Flames are up 3-1.
Camilleri pounds it home, and the Flames are back up by 2.
The back and forth continues with Gabriel Lansog for Colorado. We see the gloves come off between Calgary Jackman and Colorado McLeod. We move to the third now, where O'Leary puts Colorado back within 1. Although he may not be in the building, the Flames say goodbye to their beloved captain with one last cheer. Junior playoffs are underway in Alberta, and 2 local teams are in the playoff hunt. The Calgary Hitmen are trying to close out their first series against the Swift Current Broncos in the WHL, while the Okotoks Oilers are competing for an AJHL title in the South Division against the Bandits. Our Danielle Deeming has more.
Many Calgarians remember the Hitmen's playoff run to the Memorial Cup only 3 years ago. The city and team are hoping this season will be the year they return to the biggest tournament in Canadian junior hockey. The team is up 3-1 in the series against the Broncos and are in good position to make it to the second round. Hitmen captain and 5-year veteran Cody Sylvester knows what it will take for his team to be successful in the postseason.
Definitely being disciplined. We've ran into penalty trouble with some of our games in the past, and that's hurt us before. And I think if we can stay out of the box, we can play with any team in the league and win games. So discipline and hard work is always our key to our success. And if we go out there and work hard, I think we can win games.
In Okotoks, the Oilers are looking for their first AJHL South Division title in franchise history. The Bandits and Oilers finished 1-2 in the regular season, respectively, so it only seems fitting that these 2 teams will be competing for it all.
The biggest thing for us is making sure our power play, clicks in the off season or in the postseason. With there's a lot of penalties being called. It's pretty tight checking, and it can get pretty intense. So when you get your chances on special teams, we have to make the most of them.
After both teams had early exits during last year's playoffs, they are hopeful and confident they have what it takes to win it all this season. For MRU TV News, I'm Danielle Deeming.
That's it for sports this week. Back to you in the studio.
I don't know about you, Leah, but I've been waiting for this part of the segment for the whole time. So we got to get to some entertainment news from the latest from Hollywood and, of course, Calgary.
Thanks, guys. I'm Chloe Capoletto with your entertainment news. Cops were at Justin Bieber's Calabasas home because the neighbor is accusing the world's most popular young man of threatening him and even getting physical. Apparently, the 2 of them got into an intense argument, and the neighbor filed a police report saying JB made some serious threats, and things escalated from there. Justin's team confirms that an argument took place, but they swear there wasn't any violence. They say Justin stormed back into his house and his security team escorted the angry neighbor off his premises. The sheriff's department is investigating to determine what the fight was about and how serious things got. Moving into local news, Rihanna's Diamonds World Tour will be in Calgary this weekend, Saturday, March 30th. The Diamond Tour hasn't been smooth sailing for Rihanna. She already had to cancel 2 shows, and in Winnipeg last week, Rihanna's tour bus was seized at the Canadian border. The Queen of Controversy arrived at her concert venue to find that her Diamond Tour trucks, which contain her elaborate stage, were not there. And why is that? Rihanna's actual tour bus, not her trucks, was searched at the border last week and was found to contain weed. The reason still remains unclear as to why vehicles relating to her tour have been stopped for a second time. Mount Royal University's drama department is putting on its own adaptation of the cult classic, The Rocky Horror Show. Rocky tells the story of 2 clean-cut kids, Brad and Janet, who run into car trouble and seek help at the sight of the light down the road. Little do they know it's coming from the place where Dr. Frankenfurter is in the middle of his crazy experiments. The play is a rock musical, a spoof of science fiction movies, and a bizarre story of seduction and sexual confusion. There's one requirement if you plan on seeing the show, and that is audience participation. It is playing at the Wright Theater here at Mount Royal starting March 28th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults and $15 for seniors and students. That's all for entertainment news. Back to you guys in the studio.
In world news, South Africa's presidency says 94-year-old Nelson Mandela is responding positively to hospital treatment for a recurring lung infection. The office of President Jacob Zuma said that the former president and anti-apartheid leader remains under observation. Mandela was admitted late Wednesday to a hospital in Pretoria. Mandela contracted tuberculosis during his 27-year imprisonment for fighting white racist rule in South Africa.
The United States have sent 2 American bombers equipped with nuclear capabilities to stay in South Korea. Since North Korea has been threatening the use of nuclear weapons, South Korea has joined military forces with the USA. It's the first time the South Korean military has announced the use of stealth bombers.
The fighting continues within South Sudan since its sovereign split from Sudan in 2011. South Sudan's military spokesman says 163 people, mostly rebels, are dead following a clash with government forces in a restive state inside the country. Colonel Philip Auger says the government forces captured an airstrip that the rebels were using to import most of their military supplies. South Sudan accuses Sudan of arming the rebel leader, David Yao Yao.
Well, Leah, it's Easter weekend. I think I'm going to go on to an Easter egg hunt and find some tricks and treats.
Some little chocolate eggs and bunnies?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds pretty good. You know, I think I'm going to get out there and enjoy the sunshine because it's shaping up to be a pretty nice spring weekend.
Gonna work on that tan?
Yeah? Well, I can't work on my tan, but I'm probably going to break out my flip-flops.
All right.
So what are you going to go and see the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah. It looks pretty interesting. Thank you for joining us. I'm Leah Murray.
And I'm Zara Falby. Have a great weekend.